So I'm Chad Foley. I've been at the City of Raleigh 15 years in the IT department. I'm working here with my colleague Jim Alberg, who's our GIS and Emerging Technologies Manager. And today we're just going to talk a little about some of the things we're doing to make our cities more smart. And I thought the best way to do that would be just to tell the story of just the day in the life of me. So let me find the clicker. So this is an old screenshot, and I don't know if you can see it, but at the top it says there's an 80% chance that I'm a person. And this is coming from some machine learning and object detection that we were working on about 3 or 4 years ago in our spare time, just tinkering around. And now it's getting real. It's turning into things you're seeing here today, and we're bringing it to production. So it's my typical day, right? This is a true story. I woke up maybe a couple weeks ago. I'm going to work, and I noticed the leaf collection truck is out in front of my house. And but I know that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes there. I know that there's a work order for that leaf zone collection, and that they're capturing equipment and labor cost and material cost for that work. And that when they change the status of that work order, it's updating automatically a GIS polygon so that citizens can know when their leaf collection is pending, complete, or upcoming. So on my typical day, I saw the leaf collection truck. I'm going into work. I passed by a utility truck. They're tearing up the street. They're replacing pipes. They're also capturing equipment costs, labor costs, material costs. If you can't capture cost of your assets and your work and how you're spending your money and your asset condition, then you're not a smart city. So that, to me, is number one. And then, there's traffic on my way to work. That's probably the number one complaint, for a city of growth like ours. And we're going to talk a lot more about that here in a minute. You got to find a parking space. So that's a huge deal. We're working with the parking division to, use different scenarios and quickly model out what if we remove on-street parking in this area? What's the impact? What's the walkability tolerance? How to detect when cars are in parking spaces or not, in parking decks. And then, we have an annual IT retreat on this day at Dix Park. So I'm walking over from downtown to my office to Dix Park. I pass a scooter. I jump on the scooter. I get into Dix Park. The scooter turns off because there's a polygon in that park that says no scooters. And I was like, oh no. So I had to walk the rest of the way. But I get in the park, and there's cameras in our parks, and IntelliSite talked about that pilot we're doing in Moore Square, and we just want to anonymously count people to get the park usage, the peak times, see what's going on. And then at some point I'm crossing the street, we're trying to analyze safety issues. We saw that with some of the IntelliSite talk as well. We're doing a proof of concept with that. And then it's trash day. So at the end of the day, I come home, you got to take out the trash. What if the garbage truck knew ahead of time if my trash bin was on the curb or not? What if they could put a camera on the garbage truck and just put it right at the pavement and do pavement condition assessment? Because those garbage trucks are already going to all streets all through the city anyway. So why not partner with transportation and share that data, look for potholes, line cracks. We did a proof of concept to classify that data using some of the similar technology. There's fire hydrants that have smart sensors that can determine the hydrant water pressure that can send that back to us in real time. Because currently we inspect hydrants throughout the year all the time just to make sure there's pressure there, because you don't want to go to a hydrant with no pressure. This is an example of our some intersections downtown. We have access to all the traffic camera video feeds. We can use this machine learning object detection AI to classify these objects, count these cars. Currently, we're working on counting turning movements because that's really valuable to doing a traffic study. Why pay a vendor a lot of money to do a traffic study at peak hours, 5 to 7 p.m., when we can do it ourselves 24/7 all throughout the city? We have hundreds of traffic cameras. Another example, same technology, litter detection, or just imagine a downtown ambassador who's got a GoPro on his bike helmet, and he's doing his normal work, or a parks maintenance technician, and they're just doing their rounds, and the camera's detecting trash and kicking off a work order for some other group to clean up that litter. Another interesting project that's going on in transportation is Sidewalk Inventory collection. They have these segways that have cameras and video and GPS that they're capturing all of the sidewalks throughout the whole city. This is good just to have, truth of what our sidewalk condition is and planning and construction, but also very important for ADA and the American Disabilities Act. It's very important. And we're piping all that data into our GIS systems. This is another example of some of the parking studies, when a parking space is being utilized or not, when are loading zones being utilized, can we have alternate usage for loading zones when they're not loading. And this one's kind of interesting because there's a big belly trash can in the middle of the frame there, which is a smart trash can. It's solar powered. We pull the big belly API every few minutes, and we can detect if it's 80% full or not. And if so, we can kick off a work order to have that emptied. This is a BRT project you've probably heard about, Bus Rapid Transit. Very exciting. The thing I'm interested in here is the TSP, or traffic signal prioritization. So when the bus is coming, there's sensors on the bus that tell the light to turn green. That's very exciting. We could use that with our emergency vehicles as well. We're working with some, looking at drones and drone potential and policy. The world of drones is huge. Everything from construction inspections to right-of-way inspections to LiDAR survey. This is at Dix Park on this beautiful fall day. And I'll hand it off to Jim to talk a little bit more about this day in the life and some of the other things we're doing. But these things are real. We have the tools, and we're leveraging them now.
Thanks, Chad. So my name's Jim Merk. I'm the GIS and Emerging Technology Manager with the city. I get a chance to work with Chad and a lot of other really smart, passionate, and curious folks within the city and a lot of the partners that you heard about earlier. So Chad talked about a number of kind of opportunities, whether they're in flight or in pilot or potential future opportunities. One of the things I wanted to talk about is, from my perspective, why are these things happening? And so one of the things that I think you've heard in a number of presentations is this is happening in our homes and in our cities. There's an instrumentation kind of revolution that's happening, right? They call it IoT devices, number of connected devices, et cetera. It's really challenging for cities to find assets that aren't instrumented anymore. So whether or not you want them, whether you deploy a parking meter or a scooter or a street light, it's sensing, detecting, and capturing data. And so, again, there was a lot of discussion earlier about challenges and opportunities. That's both a challenge and opportunities for cities. So cities are starting to swim in data. And so trying to push that data up a pyramid that you saw on a slide from a previous presentation, which is how do we turn this data into actionable information, potentially take action, et cetera. And so that's what some of the things that we're working on now. And again, this is happening in your home. And this is an example. So this is my mom. She is an 80-year-old woman who is crushing it at Beat Saber. So she's using she would be a little embarrassed. She's not 80, she's late 70s, but the consumerization of technology. So this technology we would be using or talking about 5 years ago as enterprise scale technology. Now, you can go to thousands of middle school homes and they're using tensor technology to do object detection right on their little local PC. Again, in my house, there are 7 devices. I can stop my ice maker from working right now. So this is, again, both an opportunity and a challenge. So I think our citizens are interacting with this technology on a commercial basis, and they're going to demand that we as a city start to deliver this type of technology and take advantage of it, whether it's to improve services, make them more efficient, et cetera. So I might be a little bit biased here, but I think you heard today through previous presentations, we're very lucky in this region, right? Just within the city, we have smart, passionate folks, leadership that is super supportive, and citizenry that is demanding, partner communities that are pushing us and pulling us together. We're collaborating with them. Local institutions and universities that are, resources for us to collaborate with. Again, challenge and opportunity. There is a cost to collaboration. It's effort. We have to kind of think about it. But again, we're really, really lucky to be in Raleigh specifically and the greater Research Triangle area in general. So I wanted to kind of do a deep dive into two particular projects that Chad kind of mentioned. One is around computer vision. You've heard a number of presentations, so I won't go into the technology piece, but the city has 100+ cameras at intersections with plans to deploy many, many more. And if you are lucky enough to be sitting in the traffic management center, when an event happens, you could potentially take action. If you're not in the traffic management center, you might not have access to this video, and you might not be able to take action. And again, I think you've heard in a lot of the presentations, the technology as such is, can we get potentially a computer to monitor that video, identify events, and then take action? I talked to some transportation folks, and some of the things that they really struggle with or ask us to do is help us to understand what's happening in the city, right? The finger on the pulse of what's going on in the city. So we have, again, 100+ cameras in the city. I'm a GIS guy, so I believe GIS can be an integration platform. So, putting these on a map, giving people access to video through this map, et cetera, is one of the things. Ooh. The next thing is applying this computer vision, right? So starting to, again, IntelliSite talked about a future project. This is kind of the precursors to that, where we're just trying to see, can we do this? And one of the things that I've always talked about is, we've all seen this in a commercial on our TV about, a big technology company being able to do this. I think this makes a big difference when it's our streets, and it's our traffic, and it's our intersections, and it becomes much more real for the business folks when we're able to demonstrate that. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is a digital twin. So MITRE Corporation talked a lot about a modeling exercise that's going on. I was at a Smart City workshop yesterday where digital twin was brought up a number of times. Just like smart cities, digital twin has a number of definitions. In my opinion, a definition that I use is it's creating a 3D model of some environment that we can interact with, and like a sandbox to apply scenarios and understand what the outcomes are before we do them in the real world. So this is an example. We have a pretty robust kind of urban 3D model of our city. And so this is the exterior space. And then our Raleigh Water Department, very forward-thinking, is starting to do this on the interior side. So this is also a digital twin, understanding vertical assets and wayfinding and space planning, et cetera, right? In this example, they're using some of that same technology that my 80-year-old mother is using through VR virtual reality technology. So again, if you get as excited as I do about this, the possibilities really are endless, right? It is, you heard about the 4th generation of technology, being able to access this data, again, is a challenge and an opportunity. And so these are some of the examples of things that we think might be a really good opportunity to advance the city, improve citizens' quality of life, efficiency, et cetera. So next, I'm going to invite up Ishmael from NC State. He is a professor of electrical engineering at NC State, and we're going to hear a little bit about what he's doing at NC State. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jim. Thank you for the invitation and the opportunity. I'm Ismail Güvenç. I'm a professor at NC State University. Today I will talk about our project Airpow, which stands for Aerial Experimentation and Research Platform for Advanced Wireless. And I was here actually 2 years ago when our project was first funded. I think it was September 2019, Triangle Smart Cities Summit. We were just funded at that time. We were one of the 4 NSF projects of similar type. These are all city-scale wireless projects. NSF is investing about $100 million to these platforms, and we are the 3rd such project. Our vision is to serve as a unique technological enabler, technological infrastructure to enable advanced wireless research, including drones. And as you can imagine, there are many different use cases for smart cities involving transportation, deliveries, healthcare, telecommunications, inspection, and others. At the heart of our project, we have programmable radios, programmable network, and the programmable unmanned aerial systems and unmanned ground vehicles. So mobility is at the core of our project. And we have been working on this during the past 2 years. I'm very happy to report that as of last month, we have opened the platform with our initial features. We are supporting external experiments by our users. We have been working closely with many companies. You can see several of those companies on the right. We received about on the order of $4 million of in-kind contributions and donations from these companies, and we deployed them or about to deploy them in our platform. We are leading this project as NC State, but we are partnering with several other institutions, including Wireless Research Center, Mississippi State University, Raleigh, Purdue, and University of South Carolina. We are also working with Raleigh, City of Raleigh, and Town of Cary. This shows the 5 phases of our project. As I said earlier, we just finished phase 1. In November, and we declared general availability. As part of phase 1, we deployed 3 fixed nodes in Centennial Campus and Lake Wheeler. I will show a map to show those soon. We deployed 3 portable nodes, 2 UAVs, 1 UGV. These are all available for experimentation, fully programmable for radio as well as mobility, where they go, what they do. We have a portal. We have example software for radio and vehicles that you can start with to develop your experiments. And we have deployed many other wireless equipment in the platform during phase 1, but they are not just yet available to be used by our external users. We have been doing a lot of internal testing. In the next phase, we will scale our platform with additional fixed nodes, portable nodes, and new equipment. We will have 6 UAVs, 4 UGVs, and we will also integrate the other wireless equipment. For example, we deployed the Ericsson base station, which is a 5G base station in our Lake Wheeler area, and it will be operational by the end of it's already operational, but it will be available for our external users, and we will keep scaling by the end of phase 3. So by the end of 2023, we will finalize our deployment, and then the next 2 years will be just operations. We will support our users. And you can also bring your own equipment, like your own drones, your own wireless equipment. We just have to figure out how to integrate those into our experiments. This shows our deployment footprint. You can see that our main 2 deployment areas are Centennial Campus and Lake Wheeler. And you can also see our 3 phases there. We are growing from phase 1, just 3 fixed nodes, to 5 more fixed nodes in phase 2, and additional 8 more fixed nodes in phase 3. Lake Wheeler area is the core area for our drone experiments. We have 1 tower that you can see there already. We have been doing a lot of experiments there. And we will add 4 more towers going further up to Tryon Road, north of Lake Wheeler. And these will be operational by the end of summer next year. This shows our drone and the tower that we deployed. We have software-defined radios, Ericsson base station, which is not shown in this particular photo, but we keep populating this tower, and we will have 4 more towers in Lake Wheeler. We will also build a drone operation center, which will also be operational by the end of next summer. And this shows what equipment we have in those fixed nodes and portable nodes, and what software we support. In all our fixed nodes, we have so-called software-defined radios from National Instruments. They are fully programmable. You can program them as a 4G base station or 5G base station or 5G user equipment. or a LoRa equipment, IoT equipment. So there are open source software that you can program them. We have portable nodes that you can attach to UAVs and UGVs, and even a helikite that we are in the process of purchasing. And we have a sandbox that you can do experiments before in the cloud before you go in the field with vehicles and radio. And we have different software that we are supporting in that sandbox. This shows our drone. It's an in-house designed and in-house built drone. We are proud of that. And it's very flexible in terms of type of things that we can do. You can also see the portable node that is attached to the drone. You can attach different types of wireless equipment to that drone. And it's fully programmable. You design all the trajectory, all the vehicle control in the cloud, and then it's repeatable. It goes wherever you want. It can also make decisions on the fly. And this shows our unmanned ground vehicle, same exact interface. You program the drone. You also program the unmanned ground vehicle. You can again see the portable node attached on top of it. And very briefly about experiment workflow, and I will give a quick example on an experiment, and I will conclude. As a user, you can right now go to our website, airpow.org. We have a link to our portal and user manual. You can see the way that you can interact with the platform. From the portal, you request resources. I want this fixed node. I want these drones, this portable node. And then what we do is we give you access to our cloud, and then you can program your experiment in the cloud. So the first step is you develop your experiment in the cloud environment, which we call emulation. So once you are ready, you hand over the software to us, and we schedule a day, and we do the experiment in the field with the software that you develop for the radio and the vehicle. And this shows an example of what I just described before. So here we have one UAV, one UGV. Initially, this was developed in the cloud. You develop the software. The drone goes up, goes in a straight line, comes back and lands. Same for the UGV. And after some point, you lose connectivity. So you observe this first in the emulation environments. Then you take the same software to the test bed, and you do the actual experiment in Lake Wheeler. We have our tower that you have seen earlier. And you can see the comparison between the emulation and the cloud and the test bed. So the first one is the distance versus time. The drone goes to a certain point and comes back. You can see the waypoints that it slows down and goes again. And then the next one is, it shows the height, altitude versus time. Again, it's very similar for both the emulation and testbed. Another example for delay. So this is a ping delay between the drone and the tower. You can see very similar behavior in the cloud environment and the testbed, and also the signal strength. So I will stop here in the interest of time. We have much more information on our website, and we have a user manual that you can access to find a lot more about our platform. If you have any questions, I will also be happy to answer them. Like I said, we are supporting experiments as of November. We have many experimentation requests already from also several different companies and academics, and we will be happy to work with you if you're interested. Thank you.